Welcome to the Sylvia Show. We are here today to celebrate Women's History Month. I thought I was live, y'all, and my guests like, "Are you live? Are we live?" I'm like, "Yeah." No, we wasn't. But welcome to the Sylvia Show, and we are celebrating Women's History Month. And I like to come on Fridays and highlight my faith, and the other women that come on, some of them highlight their faith, but we usually always talk about God somewhere in there. And so it's Women's History Month, and not a month ago, but for this month, I feel like God say highlight women, local women, and women in my life, and women that I'm connected to. And so as they have popped in my heart and in my head, I reach out to them and say, "Hey, can you come on the show?" And yay, every one of them been able to come. And we have our third guest today for the month of March. And she is actually Shalonda Jones. And she's going to come she's going to come and celebrate her story. I want to hear how she got to where she was today. And there's a little extra piece with her being a guest today on my show. But we're going to bring her on right now. And here is right here.
Hi.
Hi. Welcome. Y'all know I'm my own producer. She know I'm my own producer. She her own producer. So you know how that is.
Yeah.
You got to be clicking buttons and talking and all that stuff and interviewing. And so, but we're doing it, right? We are doing it. I'm grateful for this software. I think we both got turned on. I got turned on by Irvin, and I don't know if and it's just it's been a great piece of software. But this is Shalonda Jones, and she's going to share her story now. A little bit about Shalonda before she gets started is she is my beautiful, sweet niece.
Yes.
I call all my nieces that. They found out some time ago that I called all of them that. They thought that it was just one of them that was getting that. And then one of them say, "But you call me that." And yeah, I got busted. I think by Shatara, who said, "Well, Auntie, so I'm not the only one." Well, no, you're not. But I have a number of nieces. I have quite a bit of nieces, and I have a heart for my nieces, my nephews too. So if y'all watching, I love y'all too. But y'all just ain't easy to get to, because y'all ain't as easily accessible as my nieces. So, but she is my beautiful, sweet niece. She is my youngest brother's daughter, and one of his daughters, I think he has what, 5 or 4?
Five.
5
daughters and one son.
Okay, that's my baby brother. He's the youngest, and I think he has the most children.
Yes.
So he has 5 beautiful daughters, and so I wanted her to come on. I've seen her evolve to where she is now. However, as a young woman, I wanted to bring her on and, hey, Sherry, and have her share her story. And Shalonda, when I was your age, because I know you just turned 35, I was single mom, 3 children, working in the corporate world, and just trying to, make it to retirement. And that's where I was. And so as I thought about you coming on here, I'm like, dang, she is like 35. She got 3 kids, and I know you have a partner, and you have some great support with your partner. And but you are all over the place. People tell me I'm all over the place. But you are all over the place, and you are just doing your thing, and I love it. I love watching you. And you kind of like me. I'm like, because we just all over the place. Whatever's in our heart, we put it out there, right? And so I want you definitely to share your story. And I've been coming off the cuff. I keep trying to write questions down. I started trying to write a question, and then this is what I did. I just scribbled. And every one of my guests, I'm like, oh, I need to get my show notes together. Just ain't happening. And so I want you to share about how you got to where you are now with the ladies, because I believe that you, as a younger woman, you are a face of younger women that have so much in them and so much that they want to get out and do. And so I want you to just share some of your story of how you got to where you got to now. And this is going to be your condensed version, because we only going to be here about 2 o'clock or something. So so go ahead and share your heart. And I'm
Okay.
gonna be asking you questions too, but go ahead.
Okay. First of all, I just want to say thank you for inviting me. I am honored to be here. And like you said, I watch you and I love what you do. And I appreciate what you do for the kingdom of God
Thank
and,
you.
and our family, leaving that legacy for the generation behind us and me, to look up to and continue to see you moving all the time and never giving up. So I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Yes. So how I got here today. Whew. So I'm gonna start with when I got saved. When God came into my life. I was about 21. I was 21. And I was just on my own with the baby, trying to figure things out. And God began to minister to me. And it was very familiar when God was, his presence and stuff. It was very familiar to me because he dealt with me as a little girl. He would come and talk to me and visit me. And I was filled with the Holy Spirit in my bedroom at night alone by myself. So I knew it was God. Um, and I began to hear God's voice
Mm.
clearly calling my name, literally out of my sleep. I would hear Shalonda. And at this time, that I began to, God began to minister more and more to me. I wanted to go to church. I just wanted to do all the things that, that would please God. I had met somebody. I had ended up getting married. And we were heavily in the church. God led me to the choir. Never thought I could be singing in no choir, ministering to the people like that. I was on the usher board. Um, I was very much favored by God in what I was doing and elevating and learning more and more about God, getting into my word more. God was just feeding me his word, and just teaching me. So fast forward, church began to get a little rocky and stuff because my home life was rocky.
Mhm.
And God was telling me, as he built me up, he was like, okay, now I need you to kind of sit down. I need you to kind of, remove yourself from some things because I don't know, my life was just in shambles, but it looked good on the outside. You know what I'm saying?
I know what you're
Everybody,
saying.
and it just looked so good, but I was dealing with so much emotional abuse, physical abuse, um, being left alone with my children in this marriage. And then as I began to speak out and tell the leaders, hey, something's not right, you know what I mean? I was told that, I wasn't hearing from God to sit down and to, and try to figure my life out. Because I didn't listen to God, oh my goodness. I continue to sing in the choir. I continue to be on the usher board. I continue to do those things that God told me to kind of sit down and back up off of, to get my household in order. I listened to man, and I mean things just kind of fell apart. My whole life, I lost everything. I mean, from my house to
Mm.
nearly my kids. That was just like a battle within itself. My marriage was completely shattered. My church life was confusing. um but God gave me grace. He broke me gracefully, as I moved on and tried to go on with my own life. He told me to use my pain as purpose.
Mm.
And so as I walked in whatever it is that he would lead me into, I had to use my pain.
Mm-hmm.
Because God would tell me that it would heal, it would open doors, it would break generational curses. I did turn to dancing. I speak about that a lot. And it was just a moment in time. But in that moment of time, God used certain people to get me into position of having my own apartment and stuff like that. Because like I said, I lost my home. I had no other choice but to leave because things were out of control. But because I went to this place with the faith that I had, because, a lot of people would say it's foolish, and a lot of people would say, God didn't send you there. But with the faith that I had, I believed that God would use my story. And he told me to be honest to people, talk to people, tell them what you're going through, because people can help you. And
Mm-hmm.
that's what I would do. I would use my story in the club, and I would tell people what I'm literally going through. I'm sleeping in my car, I'm bathing in the basement of my job, and my kids are here, and I'm just trying to figure it all out. And people begin to help me. People begin to give me jobs, and people help me get an apartment, and just leading me places so that I can make money and provide for my kids. Uh, and moving along, things were chaotic. I went through custody battles, all that other stuff, but God continued to work with me and continued to speak to me. One thing that God ministered to me was about closets. Um, so that's what started me. I started a business in my pain called Lala's Closet, and now it's called Lala's Closet LLC.
Okay.
Um, and with the closets, God gave me a vision of using it as a business, but it was a ministry. I would come into women's house, and I would rearrange their closets and organize their closets. And it was more for God to give women that space to declutter and to be in his presence, because he says go into the closet and shut the door, and
Mm-hmm.
you pray, and whatever you ask God for, he will reward you openly. Whatever you ask God for in secret, he will reward you openly. So
Mm-hmm.
I made it a ministry and a business. It helped bring income into my home, because I now became a single mother of two. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and I needed an income. I had lost my jobs and all of that because of the crazy divorce I was going through. So um
But let
with
me
this,
let me just say something about what you said about having to be homeless, and even I'm getting something with the closet thing, but having being homeless, many times we as women we suffer in silence.
yeah,
We really do, because of course I didn't know that you were going through that, and I can remember when I was going through something in my first marriage, and after I was out of the marriage, I said something to my siblings. They're like, "Girl, why you ain't let us know?" My
yeah,
sisters, right? Why you ain't let us know? And so I just wanted to bring that, how we as women we tend to suffer in silence. And I
yeah,
think sometimes just because of how God made us and
yeah,
how resilient we are, and how, I mean, we take so much, we take a lot, and we can take a lot. I don't know why he made us like that, but he did.
yeah.
Um, and I just wanted to point that out for any woman that's out there, suffering in silence. She and I both, I mean, but we don't have to.
Mhm.
We can reach out, if first of all, we can reach out to God,
Yeah,
and but we can reach out to another woman, definitely a woman that you can trust and confide in. But we don't have to keep suffering in silence. So you can go back to what you were going to say, but I just want to bring that out for any woman that's watching.
yes, absolutely. I agree. We do suffer in silence, and we do need to find somebody to, that can help us and guide us and talk to us. And we need to make sure that we have mentors in our lives, people that could lead us to the word and lead us to God. Because yeah, we could be hearing the voice of God, but he said there is two is better than one. So
Yes.
to have somebody to literally help you and guide you, that just gives you another way to hear from God. um but yes, I started doing the closet ministry, and I absolutely loved it. I mean, doors opened up for me. People in the community helped me. People just wanted to support my business, and finding out what it was really about. It just opened more and more doors for me. I was doing an assignment for a pastor and really good man, big church. And he had a secretary, and she had a program for women, and it was to heal and to, help women overcome. And I actually overstood her program. It's called Diva. And I was able to share what I was actually going through and what I had went through to up to that moment. And God literally used my story to help so many women, and women older than me, not women
Mhm.
are, my age or whatever. I was like 30 at the time too. So I mean, it was just like these women were inspired by my story, and it just brought so much healing and breakthrough, and I really really enjoyed that. So I knew that God had me on the right path, although I wasn't in a place where I was, able to make all the money that I needed to provide for myself, and just in the best of position. But God continued to guide me on, and with me being in that church and doing that, the pastor saw something in me. He wanted to
Mhm.
ordain, which I was all in. I wanted to be ordained because I want to be for God. And I'm like, okay, God, if this is what you want me to do, I'll do it. But I had to end up turning it down. But in that situation, I realized God just had me there for a moment to help and
Mhm.
to serve. I had to serve, and I knew that I had to serve my way up. God would constantly tell me, serve these people. I will go get the coffee. I'm going to get the lunch. I'm printing out papers. I'm writing out up papers. I'm doing whatever it is they ask me to do because I need to get to God. You know
Amen.
what I'm saying? So, and at that time, God gave me an altar. I had availability to this church. And so I used that altar.
Wow.
When nobody was around, when nobody was there, I would go to the altar every day. I was on my knees. I would walk those floors and I would trust God, and I would just kneel before the Lord. I would lay prostrate before the Lord because I wanted to heal and I didn't want to become bitter. I wanted to become better. God told me, I can use your pain for purpose, but I also can use your pain to destroy. So at the end of the day, I wanted him to use my pain for purpose. So, and I wanted, people in my family to be healed and set free and delivered. And I just wanted to see a new life than what I saw growing up and what I had experienced. I mean, I was broken. I was tore up. Going through a divorce is not fun. It was not a easy road.
Mhm.
I mean, it was disgusting. I mean, it was, vindictive things happening. Like
Mhm.
literally, my child was. I was fighting for custody for my child, and even then, I thank God for that altar, because if I didn't have that altar, I don't know how I would have won the custody battle for my son. You know what I'm saying? I
Wow.
had to really trust God. When I went in that courtroom, I lost the first time. And I was okay with that because we had joint custody or whatever. I'm not trying to take my child away from his father, but um, there was some very bad things happening to my son.
Mhm.
So I had to trust God to go back in the courtroom without a lawyer. God told me, don't get a lawyer this time. Go by yourself. He said, I'll be your lawyer. He said, I'll talk to the judge. I'll talk to the other lawyer. I'll talk to the child lawyer, everything. I sat there by myself, and I was able to speak for myself. So
Mhm.
that, won my custody battle with my son.
Wow.
And
Wow.
yeah,
And
God
so
really did that.
he God is amazing. He's amazing. He's been amazing in my life, I know. And so as you were talking about the church that you were in, I just felt like God was saying you were in a time of preparation, in that season that you were in that church. And it was like a provision of a sanctuary provided for
Yeah,
you, even though it was a sanctuary. But you were in a time of preparation for doing what you're doing now.
yeah,
So God does take us through seasons of I mean, he will use whatever happens in our lives. If we
yeah,
let him, he will use it for his purposes. Um, if we let him, especially the hard seasons and the very painful season, he will use those to position us and to prepare us and
yes.
to to also that someone else can get something out of what you have gone through. So continue, but in about a couple minutes, I wanna hear all that you're doing because I know there's a lot. I even went to your Facebook page and I saw your link tree stuff.
Yeah.
So if you can kind of wrap it up a little, and we'll talk about some
Mhm.
of the things that you're doing right now.
Okay. So moving along, I just got into a better position. I did end up leaving the church because of it was just a lot, and I wanted to be ordained, but the way God was speaking to me wasn't the same way that the pastor was speaking to me. So I had already experienced some things, so I was a little bit more aware of, following God's voice instead of man's voice, which is very good. You're
Hmm.
supposed to follow your pastor, your leader, but when you're called to a certain thing, you have to follow the voice of the Lord. So
Hmm.
he's actually the one who put me in front of the camera because of
Hmm.
my ministry and stuff like that. So I kept going with it, and I knew that God had called me there. So the great thing is I didn't put myself in position. This pastor did put me into position because he saw what I had
Hmm.
going on. So yeah, COVID hit. My business could not run anymore. My closet business. So I started selling shea butter, which is for us, by us. And it's doing absolutely amazing. That's how I got to doing the shea butter. COVID was it was hard, but it was a blessing at the same time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um, and yeah, and from there, like I've just been, before the Lord and writing and asking God to open up doors, and that's how I got to doing planet marketing and stuff like
Hmm.
that. And my podcast, like I all of it is just it's purpose driven. It's all
Yeah.
God just, leading me on my journey.
Yeah. And so the closet, the shea butter, and you're also very out there with social media,
Hmm.
just on your different platforms, always being creative with something else. I love that podcast of you and the old people,
Yeah.
um, with your cousin and friends. I mean, I'm like, look at this girl, you know. But yeah, and so my question I've been asking every woman, and so I know that, and each woman, their foundation is God.
Yeah.
Um, but what besides God, what drives you and keep you going? And because I'm your auntie, and I'm kind of like I'm feel like we're kind of you got some of that drive out of this line, and
Yeah.
because we all got that entrepreneur spirit. We do.
Yes.
Almost all of us. I can't say every one of us, but I think even those that don't even show it is hidden down in there.
Yeah.
But that's something that I believe God has put on our family,
Yeah.
because it's just there. I'm even getting
Yes.
chilled when I
Yeah.
say it. And so, but like the ladies that I've interviewed, and now you, and then I look at myself, like, what drives you to just keep going? Because yeah, tell me. I'm not gonna say anymore. Tell me.
So what drives me most is the fact that I'm a mother.
Oh.
But I have it in me, like you said, it's in my blood. My mom was a hard working mother. Like
Mhm.
my mom worked doubles, triples, you name it, quadruples. She did what she had to do to make sure, we always had what we needed. So yeah, I definitely get my drive from my mother, and I think absolutely I get my drive from my dad too, because no matter my dad's situation, my dad is a hardworking man,
Yeah.
and he would get out there. He know how to
Yeah, I
boy,
know. He's a
boy.
hustler. We can say it. He's a hustler. My
Yeah,
brother, my baby brother. I'll say it.
yeah,
My baby brother is a hustler, and so
yeah.
yeah, Yes,
Yeah,
you're
so
right.
it's in me. And then growing up, I like you said, I had you, I had Auntie Jackie, I had Auntie Harriet, and y'all always were women that were very solid and well put together and building your lives. You know what I'm saying? So it's always been around me to have that drive. And I think more than anything, I know that there are so many people connected to me
Mhm.
that I've never even met. So I have to keep on going, because if I give up now, I may be letting down some other woman who needs to hear my story
I love that.
and knows that you're not alone. You're not the only one that's gonna go through it, and you know what I'm saying, you can use your story to help others. So down the line, I know that more and more people are going to come, so I have to be doing what I got to do, and I have to be in position for them. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? I have to be in position for my sisters. I have to be in position for my cousins, my family members. I have to be in position, because if I'm not in position, then what God wants to do with them is not, you know what I'm saying, like
Yes,
this.
yes,
I know that, what God spoke to me. So besides, just that, I believe is my kids. And
yes,
then I
yes,
really want to touch the lives of women. Like, I've saw it happen. I know it can continue to happen. And I want everybody to know we can win. We don't have to sit down on our gifts and on our dreams and on our abilities and our strengths. We don't have to sit down on it. We don't have to sit back and watch everybody else win. We can win
yes,
too.
yes.
And just to put a stamp on the world is very, very important to me. So that definitely drives me.
And as you're sharing, and what you just said, like you can't stop because there is somebody out there whose life you're supposed to touch. And that's what it's about. It's like, it ain't even about us, it's about the lives that
Yeah.
we're supposed to touch. And yes, we're doing it, and God is helping us and all that. But when it's all said and done, there is a life or lives that what we're doing, what's in us needs to come out for
Yeah.
somebody else. You see what
Yeah.
I mean? And so thank God for what he has put in us. And the key word is you gotta be willing. You gotta be willing. And so
Yeah.
there are ladies that I'm sure that's out there. And that's what I said to the last guest. Like, there's ladies out there that they have it, but they won't. They need some push to step
Yeah.
out there, right, and do it. And they won't. They won't be a Shalonda. They don't have to be a Shalonda or Sylvia or whoever
Yeah.
else. But whatever God has put in you,
Yes.
and the purposes that He's put in you, is
Hmm.
for you to step out, because there's somebody out there that
Yeah.
you need to pull in or to draw or push or whatever. And so
Yeah.
when you really see that it's not about you. When you don't want to go, you
Yeah.
go. You know what I'm saying? When
Yes.
you when you're like, okay,
That.
God, come on, seriously, I'm
Yes.
tired. But then you like Jesus when he was in the Garden of Gethsemane, he's like, well, oh, wait a minute, not my
Yes.
will, but your will be
Now.
done.
Yes.
Yes, because we be like, "Ugh, come on. But
Yes.
then you know what? When you do, he gives you some more He
Yeah.
somehow gives you some more whatever I'm trying to say, to just say, okay, girl, I got you. You can do this. I'm with you. And you're like, okay, all right. It ain't about
Yeah.
me.
Yeah, because at the end of the day, life be lifing. You know what I'm
Yes,
saying? We be
yes,
going through our own personal things while we're
yes,
building our ministry, and we're trying to help everybody else. Life be life, and we be going through our own things. And I'll be the first to tell you, my life is not perfect. I still go through things all the time, and sometimes when I feel like I can't go on, I have to tug from God. I have to.
yes,
And the one thing that really will always stick with me is his strength is made perfect in our weakness. And
yes,
I be like, Lord, I'm weak most of the time, okay? I'm weak most of the time. If it was up to Shalonda, I am weak, okay? But the strength of the Lord will really put some power in you when you don't feel like getting up, when you don't feel like doing your hair, and you don't feel like putting on no clothes, you don't feel like going outside. That power will literally lift you up. I mean, it's been times where I just been like, oh Lord, I need your strength right now, because my body is way down, because I'm doing
Yes.
a lot. I'm a mother, I'm a wife, I'm,
Yes.
you know, I have lots of family members, and you know, I gotta maintain a house and trying to
Yep.
do a podcast and run businesses and do
Yes.
this. And I have to be like, God, please just lift my body. If it is what you want me to do, then help my body to go. You know,
Yes.
help my mind to go, help my mind to elevate, help my, you know, help my ears and my eyes and everything to be like you. Because if it's up to Shalonda, I really don't want to do it. And I'm
Yeah.
being honest. Sometimes I'm just like, I just want to turn it all off and
Yes.
no more. But you know, God is like, no, I have to keep you going, because that somebody needs you. He's always in the back of my mind telling me that you, what I see right now is not even, it's nothing compared to where I'm headed to, you know.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
So you gotta keep going.
You got to keep going. And sometimes I'm like, I just want to go out in the woods in a little house all by myself.
Yes.
Nobody but me and the animals and the trees. That's what I've been saying lately. I'm getting close. I'm getting close. In about 3 more years, I'll be 65, and I'm like, okay, maybe I'll have my little house out in the woods. But before we go, tell us a little bit about your latest business venture,
Mhm.
and then we're gonna wrap it up with you just saying a final encouraging word to the listeners. So tell me a little bit, because I know I got your card and you had your birthday party, and I got the card, and I'm like, what is this? You know, I'm like, what this girl doing now? You know, that's kind of. I mean, I've been watching videos, but tell us just a little bit about that and give some exposure to your new business venture.
So I joined Planet Marketing, well, where we sell travel.
Okay.
And that is one stream of income. There's actually 8 streams of income. I can give you a couple more, like bringing prospecting and bringing people into the business is another stream of income. And then when your business partner brings other people into the business, it's another stream of income. I mean, it goes on. It's just is to bring in residual income and
Mhm.
passive income and give us financial freedom. And I thought that, you know, first of all, let me just tell you, I have books upon books where I have written, and I'm telling God what it is that I need and the resources that I need in order to do these visions and these dreams that he's giving me. I need this, I need that. And this is something that I wrote about in my book. So no, I'm not a travel agent, but I am in the travel business. It is a stream of income. But that is not my dream. My dream is to help families become free.
Yes.
And that's what this business is all about. And this is what people in this business is doing. They're setting families free from, you know, poverty.
Yeah.
And I'm learning more and more. I'm being coached by millionaire income earners and 6-figure income earners, 7-figure income earners. And just to be in these rooms that I mean, I wrote it, I dreamed about it, but I never thought that it would come the way that it is. And it's so amazing. And I try to share with everybody, and I want everybody to see it, because this could be something that could literally help everybody and
Mhm.
anybody, man or woman. It does not matter. So yeah, I joined because this is something that I want to do. Not only set myself free and my family free, but set others free. So
I love it. I love it. And so I again, I love your drive. And it's I- like I said, when I was 35, I was single, raising 3 kids, and actually, I did get put me in a place where I was similar to yours, as you're sharing, like put me in a place where um, I was going to lead women that were older than me. I was just
mhm.
like, no, I'm not. And
Yeah.
so when you said that about your time in that fellowship. I was like, oh wow. Um, but as we wrap it up, I want you to share something with the women that are watching or will watch, some type of encouragement, especially for those who are like they want to step out and do what's in their heart, but they're afraid, they're timid. I think I was sharing the devotional, and I say I was a very shy and timid young girl for
Same.
years, for
Yeah.
years, very and even when God said, "Hey, I want you to do this," I'm like, "No, you don't." But and I look at you, and I'm just like, you are moving, you are doing it. Um, and so there's someone like me, very shy, like I was,
Mm-hmm.
but yet God had so much for me. I mean, this is 40 years later
Yeah.
when he pulled me kicking and screaming into where he wanted to take me, and
Yeah.
he's still taking me there.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go ahead. It's yours.
So also I can relate to that. I was a very shy, timid girl, very afraid to look people in the eyes and talk to them. And I'm still battling that. I'm still coming out of it, but with really putting my all into God and trusting God. And when I say this, I mean believing the words that I read, believing the songs that I hear.
Mm.
One of the songs that really, really brought me out of my shell was Marvin Sapp Comfort Zone. I printed out the lyrics and I taped the paper right next to my room door. So when I would walk out of my room, I literally would see it and I would read it. I'm coming out of my comfort zone to a place that I've never known.
Wow.
God is challenging me to trust and believe, to do what I've not done. If I want to go places that I've never been, I have to do what I've not done. And I
Yes.
believed those words. And I would say it over and over and over. And you have to trust where you are in the moment. It may not look like God is bringing you out of your comfort zone into a place you never know, but you have to trust God's timing, and you have to keep going on your journey, and you have to just keep trusting God and keep believing God, believing those words, keep reciting them. Something that I wrote on my mirror, Philippians 4:13, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. I had to believe. I had
Yes.
to literally say it over and over and over again till I believe it. And how do you know? Because if you try, then you will know. Test the test. You have to put God's word into action. You have
Yes.
to try the spirit. You have to, oh, he said the Holy Spirit works. Let me see how the Holy Spirit works. He said I can do all things through Christ. Let me see if I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. You have to really put
Yes.
your action in, because the
That's
word is
good.
there and it's never going to go anywhere. It's
Yeah.
never, everything will pass away, but not the word of God. Okay? So as long as you speaking these things, as long as you saying these things and telling God, I'm trusting you, you'll begin to believe it, and then you'll begin to see it.
Mm-hmm. I like that. You got.
Um, Step out of your comfort zone and just be bold with it. The word says, come boldly to the throne of grace.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So that means we literally can't see the throne. But
Mm.
if you get down on your knees, do you believe that you're there? Do you believe that God is there? So whatever you're doing, believe that God is right there, and be bold that God is going to do exactly what he said he's going to do.
Yes. Yes.
So that's my advice to anybody. Write it down, print it out, read it over and over again till you believe it. Songs. One more song that I just want to put out there um that helped me too, because sometimes we feel like God leaves us.
Mm-hmm.
But God never leaves us. And that's something that grandma, your mother, would tell me. You might leave God, but God not gonna leave you.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes we have those dry times, and we think that God is not gonna accept us. We ain't prayed in 3 days, and we haven't talked to the Lord in 3 days. But listen, this song by Jacqueline Carr is called "Stay with Me." It says, "God, you are the company that never has to leave me, so I need you to stay with me. How can I live? How can I move? How can I be without you? How can I stand in the midst of pain? I can't go on without you. You are the company that doesn't have to go. So stay with me. I'm broken for you. Please don't leave because I need you. I'm empty if I don't have you. So stay with me, stay with me, stay with me. You are my victory." And
Wow.
that has helped me and reminded me that God is with me all the time because he's the company that doesn't have to go.
Wow. Yeah, he's amazing.
Yes.
He is always there. I like how I never heard the song, but I will go find it now after we get off the podcast, and I'm gonna that's a new song in my library, I guess you can say.
Yes.
And so
Jacqueline Carter. She's young, but she's powerful. Powerful.
Jacayla.
Jacqueline Carr, yeah.
Oh yeah, girl. I am familiar with her, but I was not familiar with that song. Yeah, she is a powerhouse. She
Yes.
is. She is. Um, so as we close, as Shalonda shared, step out of your comfort zone. And I believe when you step out of your comfort zone, the more you do it, the more you're going to step into confidence.
Yes.
Yeah, I can do this. I
Mm-hmm.
can do this. And those of us who have our faith in God, it says, I can do all things through
Yes.
Christ who gives me the strength to do it. And so, but step out of that comfort zone. We are celebrating Women's History Month. We're highlighting women that they're on the move. I'm not saying you ain't, but they're on the move and they're doing what they believe that God has purpose for them to do and just keep moving forward. Um, and so we want to encourage uh, any women that are out there, step out of that comfort zone and step into, that's going to be a tag now, step into confidence,
Yes.
right? Because
Yes.
the more you do it, the more you step out of that comfort zone, the more confidence you're going to get.
Yes.
And
Yes.
and both of us said we were shy and timid. I too didn't look at people. I would look down when I was walking down the hallways in school, and my two sisters were very outgoing, but no, I was just in the middle, that
Yeah.
little that little dark child in the middle, and I'm just like this, nappy headed, skinny, all that. And so I want to say to women, yeah, step into somebody put Sierra put step into your I know we're going a little longer. Step into your confidence. Your greatness awaits. Thank you. Step into your confidence. Your greatness awaits. I love that. That is
Yes.
good.
Yes. That's good.
That's a good tag. That's a good tag right there.
Yeah.
Um,
That's my business partner right there.
oh, okay. All right. All right. Well, welcome, Sierra. But yeah, I was gonna say something, but yeah, I don't forgot what I was gonna say. And
It happens. Can I
so
just say where you can find me on social
okay,
media? You
yes,
can find me on Facebook, Shalonda Jones, and the Real Talk Podcast, not it's Real Talk Podcast, and also Lala's Closet. All of those are on Facebook. I am also on YouTube, The Real Lala Jones. Everybody calls me Lala. And I'm also on Instagram, The Real Lala Jones. So you can follow all of those and everything that I have going on. I
yes.
do giveaways and stuff, and um, yeah. So
Oh,
you can go and order your shea butter hair oil on www.lalascloset.com.
all right. And
Yes.
so everybody can get to everything everything via your Facebook? Because I think you have a
Yes.
link. You have a link
Yes,
tree,
I
right?
have a link tree. So also if you want to learn about Planet Marketing, you can also hit me up. My phone number is on the link tree or all my social medias. If you want to get paid for travel. I didn't say be a travel agent. I said get paid for travel. It's a source of income.
All right. All right. So Shalonda Jones on Facebook, where you can find all her information.
Yeah.
And this has been good. This has
Yeah.
been great. I am her auntie, and she
Yes.
is my beautiful, sweet niece. She's one of them, one of many.
Yeah.
And I'm grateful and honored that I could bring her on, that she was available, because I know she got a lot going on. She asked me for one date. I'm saying that one's already filled. But I thank you for making time and taking the time to be on the broadcast. And I just pray that you will be an encouragement to another young woman. I
Thank
mean,
you.
I'm young too, but 30 years. Anyway, but so thank you, sweet niece, for coming on, and thank everybody for joining us today. And we will be back next week. But girl, I'm praying for you. I'm
Thank
loving
you.
on you because
Yes, I appreciate you.
you're my niece and I love you. And so y'all, thanks for joining. And until next time, live well, take care of yourself, and God bless. Let me see if I can get this outie thing. Bye bye. Love you. Oh, I love the balloons. Love you.
Yeah,
Bye
mwah.
bye.
Thank you.